Hi, everyone. How are you doing? It's been a long time, and I think my music is not actually coming across very good. Folks, you can have some, suggestions to me because I cancel my pretzel music, and then I've been like mucking around with how to get the audio to work, and then I tried to get my Spotify, and these are DMCA free, kind of not violating any license issue. But I just don't seem to be able to get my audio going. So anyway, let me also kind of set up another test stream. As I mentioned, this is just going to be a test one because I actually signed up to help out uh, at a homeless shelter, and it's today. And I do need to go and deliver some food in about 15 minutes. So that's why too, I was thinking of, okay, let me do the stream today. Actually, I wanted to do my stream on Wednesday, and then I was trying to play around with my music, but I kind of did it too much. And anyway, so I didn't get it to work correctly. But I thought I'm just trying this out using my music from my on my desktop. Right, I'm playing from stream from Spotify, and enter in as a browser source, and then I thought it would feed in because it's just not clear to me how I actually can set up my music to feed into my Twitch stream. So, folks, if you have kind of idea, I would appreciate. And let me then also go over there, so I can look into my stream too and see what's going on and if I appear okay. Yeah, I guess I'm okay right now. Um, and really appreciate you here if you have been looking for my stream for a long time. And so I kind of understand, I think, to fill the dead space, so to speak. So anyway, it may not be as urgent right now. So, but let me see if this is actually coming across okay, like my sound. Okay, I guess. Um, yeah, actually it is. I think it's okay. So, okay, so my microphone set up correctly is just that how I wanted to feed in my essentially my browser source, and it's not really playing on the screen, even though I added that as a browser source. But I think I may need a mixer. But anyway, folks, if you have idea, please, I would love to hear about that. And it looks like somebody is looking for me. I keep hearing. Oh, okay, that's fine. I think there's a message I can kind of not answer for the time being. So okay, so here's my plan, right? So I thought, let me get back into the swing of things. And as you can see, this particular image I'm using is actually, I'd like to do some advertising for this amazing photographer who's based in Chicago. His name is Barry Butler. So if you find him on Twitter, follow him too. He's been taking really amazing pictures, and I've really been enjoying it. I actually should be paying him maybe royalty. He didn't publish that, but he made his pictures available too. So, and I don't mean to say, I'm like taking without his permission. I'm thinking I really should be taking his picture and, kind of ask him if I need to pay for royalty or do something for him. But at least I want to do this is, when there are attributions, I like to attribute the picture to him. I just thought it was interesting because as some of you, if you are based in the eastern part of the U.S. or the central part, the Midwest. So this part we are now experiencing a lot of smoke, coming from our our cousin across the border, northern border, Canada. So they're having some wildfires going on, and so this is what is happening. But I thought he took a really great picture. As you can see, downtown Chicago is kind of, full of smoke. And I think it's not as eerie, so to speak, right, as some of those pictures that I have seen earlier. I think it's in New York City area where people took pictures of the sky completely kind of turning like orange, kind of like a dull yellow orange picture color. It's much like apocalyptic, right? It's kind of like a futuristic, pretty interesting. But here too in Chicago, it isn't as kind of dramatic, right, so to speak. And but anyway, I thought it's just still a good picture just to let you know this is the outside what it looks like right now. Is basically cloudy. But of course, here in Chicago, if you're in Chicago area, we're kind of anticipating some thunderstorms rolling in too. So all right, so that's that. And so again, just wanted to say hello and kind of wanting to you to know that I'm getting back to the swing of things. As such, I actually pretty much stopped streaming for the past few months. I think I did a stream like when I was on the road from somewhere. I forgot where, some conference. But wasn't able to do a full blown one. As you know, when I travel, right, I try to carry my microphone and sometimes do talking about which going through security scanning. A few times they actually had to stop me and have me open up my suitcase. I usually put it in my carry on suitcase, and then they were like, okay, what is this? And I said, well, it's a microphone. And they said, what do you do? Kind of interesting. And I think where I was at a major city. I forgot where that was. And I think it was Frankfurt maybe or somewhere. But anyway, and I can fully understand, or I know, I think I know that was in Heathrow in the UK in London. So Heathrow, as you know, is a major international hub, going into Europe. And I can see too some of these major city hubs, they have to be extra cautious because you don't know, it's just that, more people, bigger and everything. So they have to be more careful. So that's fine. I mean, I took it out and they examined it. They had to scan through it again and realize, okay, it is just a microphone. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I just did not have time to do proper streaming. Not only that, when I travel, and that's something about developer advocate. We're so much, in the developer world. I think folks, you're starting to notice there are developer advocates like myself. We go and speak at conferences and such, right? So speaking at conferences is only one aspect of it, and I do have to say that somehow I was kind of going overboard. I have to admit that. But part of it is that too is that we have to write proposals about our talks, and then if we get accepted, we usually accept it, and then I get budget approval from my company to travel. I've been very blessed, very fortunate. I have to admit, company allowed me, approved budget. But I do have to say right now with the way things are going, so even a lot of companies, I think the trend is that, as I'm seeing, is that developer advocates no longer, have such kind of, so to speak, like privilege to be traveling as much as we used to. Now, for me, I go to places I don't kind of, partying around. From what I know is that maybe some folks they really go there and then they go do drink and whatever. I don't. First of all, I don't really drink that much. I mean, I drink a little bit, but sometimes not even. And if, for those who know me, but basically too, I feel I'm there to do work, right? To do business. And sometimes I actually have also like virtual conferences going on at the same time when I'm physically at another conference somewhere outside of my area. So then, check into the hotel. I basically have to get things set up and get ready for my talk, set up my slides, whatever. Even though there may be a talk that I've done, quite a few times, there are also new materials that I wanted to, kind of talk about it, right? Anyway, I think this is kind of getting a little bit loud. Okay. All right. So anyway, so I would be kind of going to a place, get set up there, speakers dinner, meet some other people, and then go and do my talk the next day, talk to other participants. Maybe some of you have met, and then after that, then I would get back to my hotel, maybe get ready for my virtual conference that evening. And so after I done that, and a couple times actually, I had to almost missing some speakers dinner because I was doing virtual conferences, and so it's kind of hectic, I have to say. And then after that, I have to get ready for the next trip. So usually I stay at a place 2 days, or 2 nights, and then the next day I'm on to another thing. I try to schedule it so then there's one big flight, across the ocean. I can do a couple things, and then on the way back, and that way too is maximizing the time. The cost too is expensive. I have to admit. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that, I'm trying to also do Twitch streams, so usually not as possible. And then also too, in my case, right, earlier, if you were following me, my mom unfortunately passed away. She was 88, so God bless her. She did a lot of wonderful things. She was a choir teacher, and so lots of students came to her funeral, her memorial service. So I was actually, in Hong Kong too, and that's where she was. And so that was nice. And there was also time for me to get together with some extended family members who I had not seen for 30 years, something like that, right? So lots of kind of, families visit some friends, and, really thankful. There were 250 people at the funeral service and a memorial private service with the choir that was like about 100 people. So that was very nice. But also, too, because of this whole thing, I think I probably was like off, kind of like, even though I was online for a bit, but also like offline because I had to take care of personal things. And folks, remember to take care of your family too. There are plenty of things to do, but family comes first, right? So anyway, I just been behind. So sorry, folks. And so I'm hoping, okay, as such, this is just a quick touch base to kind of wanting to show you because lots have changed too. I've been talking about event streaming. So let me kind of share. Actually, why don't I share? Because I think it's important too for me to also be sharing with you what I wanted to talk about. And actually, because of many things, right, that are changing. And as you can see over here, so that's my plan. So let me do this. Let me change. So I'm smaller. I don't cover the whole thing. So basically, as you know, some of you know, right, I've been talking mostly about event streaming. That is becoming old, I do have to say, right? Old, kind of like, okay, what do you use it for, right? So I never really had time to fully develop some apps because of, the nature of my work. So now, here's the thing. My company, DataStax, also acquired a company called Cascada, and they are stream processing. So now, if you've been kind of following, talking about event streaming, I think it's interesting in a sense. You think of Lego pieces. We can use Pulsar, likewise to Kafka. You can use it as ingestion, kind of like source of all your data coming in. But after coming in, you need to process it. So Cascada is a company we acquire, and it's basically, here too, is basically here if you kind of looking into it, what is Cascada? So that's something I wanted to introduce to you. I think would be interesting is to build a case in which I'm ingesting data using Pulsar, tons of data that keeps coming in asynchronously, and then immediately pass the data onto Cascada, which is like a stream processing library. So the library will analyze your data, and you can do different types of loading data and examples of you can do real time machine learning. That's the key, right? That's kind of like what everybody kind of talking about now. The thing is, because with Cascada is a Python, which doesn't matter at all, because that's the thing, also beauty of something like a message broker. It gets the data in, you can process it in any way you want. So all data has to be in a format that's understandable. And again, for data too, we handle primitive data types, Avro format, JSON, protobuf, all of these things. So we can basically get the data in and pass it on to something like Cascada for further processing. Maybe we have to look up the database, for example, into Cassandra, which our company has, or some database, right? We can do some kind of Postgres, for example, right? So that's my plan. So I basically just have time to kind of tell you about what my plan is, right, for the next couple weeks, and next week, though, is July 4th, as you know, right? If you're in the US, we're celebrating. So next week, there won't be a stream. If I have time, I may do something on Monday because that's the day that not quite a holiday for me, although company has holiday. But I was thinking if I have time, I like to do a stream. Now, the thing is, if tomorrow I have time to, I like to do maybe start this project too, and then Monday. So if not, then will be the week after then that I would like to do more kind of work with it. So again, just introducing to you Cascada, and then you can also take a look into that, right? And but maybe let me kind of take a look too. Right? Cascada. Um, it's a query engine, right? It's modern open source event processing. So like all of these kind of event processing things there are so many, right? So oops, sorry. So that's the plan, right? And let me see if folks are saying anything. And I don't think anybody is saying anything. And let me kind of go over here. There's no on the chat. Let me check the chat. I always like forget to check, right? So all let me get saying that, and welcome to my Twitch stream. Let me see if anybody is there. So anyway, welcome again. And I'm not sure who else is there because it's hard to see. Actually, I do see a few viewers too. I'm not sure too. It's interesting. You guys are active, but maybe say something so I know somebody is there, right? And again, I'm going to try to have to fix this music thing because I'm trying to play that, but it's not feeding into my input. So again, folks, if you're kind of constant streamer, you may know, right? Or maybe you're using Streamlab, and I just downloaded Streamlab just to see, but otherwise I'm using Melon app and doesn't have a direct music feed into it. So I'm using my OBS to kind of control the flow of my music, but it's not picking up. So anyway, yeah, let me know. So again, that's my plan to illustrate, right? How do you leverage on something like event streaming, to kind of do this thing? And as such, right? And right now, as I mentioned, I do need to go to the homeless shelter and deliver some food, and they start having dinner in an hour from now. So I better get packed up, and just in case there's traffic, it may take me 15 minutes to get there, or 20 minutes, or 30. So I probably should get going now. So, and I think how long have I been streaming? Like about 20 minutes. So, okay, so better than none, right? Good to say hello and share with me what you would like to see, if you like to see something. And again, nobody is in the chat. Maybe nobody's watching, but again, thank you. Thanks again. And it's about 20 minutes. And let me know. Again, we're going to be doing some event streaming, setting up the stream, and then how we can feed it into a stream event processing. And basically too, after that, maybe then look at the data that gets transformed, and then that can actually be further used for machine learning algorithms and things like that. And actually, what I'm kind of thinking is that it would be nice to I also get a Twitter developer into the developer portal. Maybe we can actually have that as a source of data from some tweet, and maybe do some kind of alert system, something like that, or maybe kind of pass on to AI and see if like GPT could analyze some data for us, or not just analyze, it's basically making predictions, that type of stuff. So yeah, send me detail too. And also, if you'd like to stay connected, right? I kind of wanting to share my uh, my Discord server over here. That's my Discord server. Let me kind of move it because it's kind of like blocking. Okay, so it's like up there. So that's my Discord server. So I kind of wanting to invite you to join me there if you like, for more conversations, and I can also know what would be helpful if you're learning to program, or maybe we can just do a couple of basic sessions as well. We can do that too. So, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, sorry for the very short thing today because I need to go to a homeless shelter and kind of deliver the food. So, thanks a lot. Have a great day, everyone.